Hello, billionaire.
Hello, billionaire.
Hello, billionaire.
Hello, billionaire.
Great five
Hello, billionaire.
billionaires.
Hello,
Today is Nigeria's 64th Independence Day, and there are billionaires in the making in this place. And billionaire. Now put your hands together for yourself as you pick your seat. What an amazing session. Let's put our hands together for Lincoln for that amazing session. That was good. That was powerful. Thank you very much for taking time out to part this World Conclave. I believe very strongly that for everyone that takes on all that is being learned today and go on to practicalize them and act upon them, I believe very strongly that not too long from now you'll be grateful for the decisions that you're going to be making today. So I'm going to be sharing with us very briefly a few things that I believe will help us. And we have a lot of materials that we came here with. One of the things I've realized is that no matter how long we spend in any event, we cannot exhaust all that there is to say. And that's why we have books and materials so that they can be a reference point for you, they can be a memorial for you, they can be a take-home for you, to go back and visit some of the things that are being shared. I've written about 7 books on wealth creation. I've written over 100 books, published 58 of them. The 59th one will be out next month. In fact, we're already in October. Will be out in another 2 weeks. But I've written 7 books primarily on wealth creation, and we have 3 of them here today. The Pathway to Wealth, and it's a very powerful book that will help you. Then we have the Bible of Wealth Creation. It's called The School of Money. The School of Money. It's a book that teaches you how to make, manage, and multiply your money and serves as a blueprint for entrepreneurship. And then we have the latest one, which is How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. Because people have been made to believe that they need to be an entrepreneur in order to create wealth. But everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. There are people that are going to be career professionals, doing well in their career, and they can still create wealth, even as career people. All they need to do is to know what can help them to create wealth by understanding the business of their career. And that book is a tremendous book. We've been on 2 global tours this year already, and it's been phenomenal, the testimonial that we have gotten. The 4 other books I've written on wealth creation are 50 Common Money Mistakes to Avoid. Very powerful book. And then Bridging the Gap Between the Rich and the Poor, and How to Create Your Success Story, and then How to Increase Your Value in the Marketplace. So all the 7 books are available in this USB, and then all the audio modules I have done on wealth creation, they are in here. So if you get this USB, you have everything I've done on wealth creation. Today to talk dates, and I'm grateful that I discovered the power of real estate very early and went on to begin to journey on that path and made loads of mistakes and learned from my mistake. But it's very good when you start early. If you make mistakes, you still have enough time to recover. But if you go and start late and make mistake, it might lead to high blood pressure, hypertension, stroke, and death. So many of the mistakes I've made have become master classes that I've used to help other people. So one of the things I've done is that I've used the understanding that I have, the mistakes that I've made, and the successes I've been able to record to become a teaching point to raise other people. And by the grace of God, we've been able to raise loads of people in the real estate industry that are doing amazing well. And the things we use in teaching them have all been put together in what we call the real estate trainings. So a few years ago, I think 2021, it's called the Real Estate Executive Masterclass. And there we taught everything that we've shared with people over the years. And that pack is available here today. And since we're celebrating independence, I think we have just about 4 or 5 of that available, and we are doing a 50% discount. So if you want to go into real estate business or you want to go into real estate investment, then you can take advantage of that. The second one is the Global Real Estate Executive Bootcamp. We did that last year. It was $10,000 per person for 7 days. People came from all over the world to be a part of that. That pack is also available, and that particular pack comes with 1 year mentorship, but there's no discount for that one. But the one that has discount, take advantage of it. So I just want to share with us, because I believe very strongly that what we are experiencing today is an opportunity to begin our journey in wealth creation, or an opportunity to grow our wealth portfolio through real estate. So I want to share with you on understanding the power of real estate investment. Understanding the power of real estate investment. The session by Lekman is just phenomenal. Lots of things that I'm not going to repeat them and go in depth. I'm just going to mention some of them when I get to that point. But real estate is very, very powerful. I began my own journey to wealth creation in 1997. In 1997, when I got married, I suddenly began to realize a lot of things that I did not realize before then. You know, when you are young and you are not married, as a young man, there are a lot of things that you are naive about. You are just simple. You just think that, oh, no, time will tell. Whatever will be, will be. You have all this funny mindset and funny philosophies that guides your life. And then just believe that, oh, when you are in love, oh, I love you, you love me, love is okay. But when I got married, I suddenly realized that of a truth, love is blind, but marriage will open your eyes. When I got married, I suddenly realized that when a woman tells you, I love you the way you are, I love you the way you are, does not mean I love you to remain the way you are. I suddenly realized that as a young and single individual, there are a lot of opportunities that you have that married people does not have. As a young person, you can just hook up with a friend and say, you are eating, let's eat together. You can say, nowhere to sleep, I'm coming to sleep in your house today. There are many things you can do. But once you get married, you now have a responsibility, not to yourself alone, but those that are around you. And that's a major responsibility. Because when you are living with your parents, you are not concerned about house rent. When you are living with your parents, you are not concerned about where they get money to feed you. You just come in and say, hey, but where's my food? As if you put money somewhere for them to cook for. But by the time you become the owner of your own home and then you get married, then you are now responsible for more than just yourself. And then may God now help you. If you now have a child or children joining that equation, it can be very, very terrible. And as a result of the expectation of our first child, my daughter, as a matter of fact, by the end of this month, she's going to be 26 years old on the 31st of October. While that pregnancy was growing, my frustration was growing. While that pregnancy was growing, my blood pressure was growing. I fell into deep depression because I was just asking myself, you mean I don't even have money to take care of rent and this one, the baby will come enter again? And I was like, what's all this? You mean I'm going to be the one carrying all this load? That frustration led me to begin to seek how to come out of my financial frustration. And it was when I had an encounter that changed my life. And that encounter was an 8-month encounter that led me to wanting to find out what it takes to come out of lack, what it takes to come out of hardship. And one thing that I was inspired to do during that season was to study the life of rich and wealthy individuals and families all over the world. As I began to study the lives of rich and wealthy individuals and families all over the world, I started identifying common traits among every one of them. One of the things I realized was that everyone that I studied that was rich and wealthy, they were not salary earners. They were not salary earners. So I'm like, okay. I suddenly began to realize that all the people that I studied that were rich and wealthy, number two, they were not working for anybody. They were working for themselves. Number three, I discovered that they all had multiple sources of income. And I'm like, okay. Then I also discovered that they all had investments in real estate. So I'm like, okay. All the things I discovered formed the base in my book now 20 world. It was formerly titled How to Be a Millionaire. In that first book, I documented all the things that I learned. So as I studied the lives of these individuals and families, and I discovered the common thread among them, I now realized that principles are universal. If you apply the same principles that they have applied, you will produce the same results that they have produced. And then I realized that real estate was very, very powerful because every rich and wealthy individual on earth, real estate was the vehicle that they used to create wealth, and real estate was the vehicle they were using to retain their wealth. When you say someone is wealthy, wealth is not cash based, wealth is asset based. Wealth is not a function of your bank balance, it's function of the asset that you have been able to acquire. When I realized that by 1998, I began the journey. And amazingly, by 2001, I suddenly realized that poverty has died. I'm like, in 3 years, is this, you mean, how come I have not been doing this before now? And then I moved on to a higher scale, and then I said, okay, now that I have done it, that it has worked for me, now that I've used it to help other people, let's go forth and teach more people on how to be able to experience that. So real estate is very, 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 very powerful. And if you're sitting down here today, you have not started that job, then today should be the day that you begin your journey on wealth creation through real estate. So I don't know how many I'll be able to give you, but let me see if I can give you maybe like 7 or 8 things just to help you to understand the power of real estate investment. Number 1, real estate is a very powerful vehicle of wealth creation. Real estate is a very powerful vehicle of wealth creation. Wealth is created, and in order to create wealth, you need vehicles. A vehicle is that which takes you from point A to point B. So in the world of finances, point A is your present financial position. Point B is your desired financial destination. So to move from your present financial position to your desired financial destination, real estate is one of the very powerful vehicles that will help you to do that. As a matter of fact, I consider it to be the most powerful. Why? You can create wealth through entrepreneurship as a business owner, but businesses go bankrupt. You can create wealth through real estate. You can create wealth through shares and stocks, but stock market can crash. But if you create wealth through real estate, you will hardly go wrong, because even if there is tsunami, we will still sell the land with water. So real estate is the most powerful vehicle of wealth creation. So if you want to create wealth, explore real estate, because it will help you more than many other vehicles. Number 2, real estate is a very powerful vehicle of wealth retention. If you want to retain your wealth, real estate is what you use to retain it. So no matter how much you have, so we say to people, don't do cash banking, do land banking. Don't do cash banking, do land banking. Why? Because when you retain your money in the bank can fold up, the money can be devalued, and you end up seeing that the purchasing power of that money is not as it used to be. So real estate is a very powerful vehicle of wealth retention. So if you want to retain your wealth, real estate is what will help you to retain the wealth for you to be able to add that to your portfolio as a wealthy individual. Number 3, real estate helps you to hedge against inflation. The rate of inflation in the world today is something else. And it's not only in Nigeria. What we are facing in Nigeria is hyperinflation. But when you really go around the world, the inflation rate is high everywhere. And many countries are having to adjust their interest rates and adjust their monetary and fiscal policy consistently. Almost every 3 months they are making adjustment. Why? Because the purchasing power of people is reducing. The inflation is eating up on many levels. But one thing that will help you to hedge against inflation is what? Is real estate. Because no matter the inflation out there, you use real estate to hedge it out. And at the end of the day, your real estate continues to increase in value, because nobody will come to you and say the rent you paid last year is so much that we have decided to reduce your rent. Nobody will come to you now to say, you know what, you have been a long-standing tenant, and because you have been here, I know things are hard, we're going to give you 50% discount. No, the rent will continue to increase, even though the house has not been renovated. Why? Because real estate will always edge against inflation. Number 4, real estate edges against devaluation. Look at what has happened to our naira. Look at what has happened to our naira. If you had 10 million naira in your account last year and you wanted to travel abroad, what the number of dollars or pounds that 10 million naira can give to you will be a lot. But today, how much can naira give to you? Have you ever traveled recently? Have you found out the cost of ticket right now? Do you know that there are some class of tickets right now that you cannot even get for 10 million? First class which right now is 14.6 million. Business class is around 9.5 million. 6 hours journey. So if you want to create wealth, you need real estate, because real estate edges against devaluation. So no matter how much the currency is being devalued, your real estate will not be devalued. The real estate will continue to rise. And that's why you hear some figures that look ridiculous. How that someone will buy something for 10 million today, and in less than 2 years it's 20 million or it's 25 million, and somebody will buy something for 2 million today, in less than 3 years it's 15. It looks ridiculous. You just begin to wonder that they're just sitting there and just changing figure. But that's the reality. It looks so ridiculous. Sometimes I'm asking myself, what's this? We bought a property on the island last year for 65 million. Last year, June, 65 million. And by April this year, they were selling for 140 million. And I'm like, I said, I saw your adverts that you are selling property for 140. Where is that one? They say, is that the place you bought now? I said, are you guys all right? You mean the place we bought for 65 in less than 1 year? I said, in fact, it's not enough. In fact, people are on waiting list. 140 million. But really, think about it, the valuation. Because if they denominated that business in dollars, if it was going for $100,000 last year, $100,000 or 65 million, 75 million. Do you understand now? For $100,000 right now, you see the difference. So really, let's talk about it. Not to be in real estate is going to be a major mistake on the part of anyone that really wants to create wealth. Next, real estate is so powerful because they have stopped creating land. Real estate is so powerful because they have stopped creating land. There is nothing like, oh, we're going to increase the land. Oh, we're going to have more land. There is no more land. As far as this earth is concerned, there is no room for increment in size. So that's why real estate is so powerful. They have stopped creating land. There is no increase in size of land. When the Creator created the earth, there were only 2 people on earth. Now we have over 8 billion people, and it's still the same size. And if you study deeper, you will realize that on earth today, over 70% of the earth is actually water. Over 70% of the earth. So all the 8-point-something billion people are actually fighting for less than 30% of the earth land mass. And if they reclaim it in one place, tsunami will reclaim it in another place. If they do some filling in one place, tsunami will take it away in another place. And since creation, we are all still on below 20. With all the samphili and the refilling, because tsunami will always bring it back to status quo. So if you are not buying real estate right now, you are not operating in wisdom. Because it's like, if this room, like he said, was real estate, and we have only 2 people in this room, we have half of this room. If we have 1 million people in this room, you realize that many of you, it's only where you are standing that will be your own real estate. And that tells you how powerful real estate is. Another reason why real estate is so powerful is that real estate continues to increase in value without any effort of you. So if you buy land now, whether you do something or not, the land will just continue to increase in value. So the land is there. You have not done anything. It's not drinking fuel. It's not taking any power. It's no band A, band B, bandwagon, abandoned. It's there. No solar, no inverter. It's there. You are not buying fuel. You are not doing CNG gas. It's just there. And the land will just continue to appreciate in value. Question, how many things will you do that will appreciate in value without any effort? That's how powerful real estate is. Another reason why real estate is so powerful is because when you go into real estate, once you buy real estate, it has tripartite results that it gives to you. When we tell people to buy stocks, we tell them that stocks is one investment with 3 returns. When you are buying shares, there's capital appreciation. When you are buying shares, there is bonus. When you are buying shares, there is dividend. When you are buying real estate, it's 3 dimensions. Every time you are buying real estate, whatever is under the ground is your own. Gold is under the ground, is your own. Oil is under the ground, is your own. All kinds of mineral. But you know what? Many of us have bought real estate. The only thing under the ground that we're enjoying is water from borehole. Some people have gone beyond water from borehole. They are packed sand from under. They are using trap sand. But some people have bought land and they are going deep into the ground to reach all kinds of minerals. So when you are buying real estate, everything under the ground is your own. The ground is your own. Whatever is put on top is your own. But do you know you can buy a plot of land and put a bungalow on it? You limit what you can get. You can buy a plot of land and build 5-story. You have increased the value of what you can get. You can buy a plot of land and build a skyscraper. It's the same land. The same land that you build bungalow on is the same land you can build 80-story on. The higher you go, the more the value you get from the land that is the same land. That's how real estate is. I know in our country and in our world today, many of us are still in horizontal real estate. Because real estate is part of is still at the infant level. So we are still at horizontal. Bungalow, 1-story, 2-story, 4 flats. We have not started doing vertical cities. We have not started doing what? Vertical cities. Where you have 100 stories, 200 stories. Where the first 50 floor is office apartment. The next 50 hotel. The next 50 housing. Dimensions that people are going to. It is when we have finished vertical. We have not even started going down. You can now begin to talk of going 80 floors under before you even reach the top. When you go to London today, you can take Eurotunnel from London to Paris, France. When you are in Eurotunnel, many of the underground in London is 8 floors down, 6 floors down. And we have never started that trend in Nigeria. Hello? That's how powerful this thing called real estate is. So if you are not in real estate, you are just not operating in wisdom. Real estate is so powerful because real estate is spiritual. It is spiritual. Look very well. Whosoever owns the land determines the faith that is practiced in the land. If you are born in Pakistan, you are most likely a Muslim. If you are born in Afghanistan, you are born in Saudi Arabia, you are most likely a Muslim. Why? Because the owners of the land are Muslim. So whoever owns the land determines the fate of the land. So faith is land. And when I see people, you see, when you look at those of you that are Christian, when God said He's giving you promised land, it's a matter of land. Promised land. It's not promised heaven, it's promised land. The land of the Eva, the land of the Hittite, the land of the Jebusite is a land issue. And you say promised land, promised land. Promised land does not mean you will get it free of charge. For Abraham to get the promised land, he paid for the cave of Machpelah, where he buried his wife. He had to buy into it with money. Hello? So you need to understand this concept of how powerful land be. Many people are here today, and many people in our world today. Your grandfather works in Nigerian Railways. Your father, Nigerian Airways. Now you are in NIPOS. It's not a generational course. It's a generational choice. They told you civil servant is the way. You are still a servant after 35 years. Your grandfather was a tenant. Your father is a tenant. You are still a tenant. It's not a generational course. It's a choice. The unfortunate thing I've seen about Lagos is that the illiterate are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. You see people went to school and they will go and use 12 million to buy a car and go and rent a house and pay 6 million rent. And then they are so proud and arrogant. And the landlord is calling them organ tenants. Why won't he call you Oga? Because he knows you are a fool that is paying his bills. You are paying his children's school fees. You are feeding his family. You are Oga now. Oga out there. I see a lot of people, I can't look all those lands you guys are selling. You know, that's a bush, man. I know it's bush. I can't buy that bush. You can't buy the bush. Yes, you have a bushy mindset. You can't buy it. It's so far. There is no way that it's far. It depends on where you are coming from. If you are coming from Lagos to the island is far. If you are coming to island from mainland, so it's where you are coming from. It's far. You want to go to London, is London not far? You want to buy land in London, have you bought Lagos? Say, no, I can't live in that place. It's a bush. No, a city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. You don't wait to buy land, you buy land and wait. Where we are today now, this used to be swamp. All these places used to be swamp. All these places used to be a forest. Lagos ended in Ojuelegba. And today, look at what the price of land is amazing. The prices of land in different parts of Lagos. He says there is no bush. Look, if you have traveled out of this country to the Western world, you will suddenly realize that every time you get to the Western world, everywhere looks developed in your eyes. You know why? Technology eliminates villages. The reason why you think where you went to is abroad is because when you got there, there was road. When you got there was internet. So the technology and the infrastructure did not make you to know that you are in a village. Everywhere you travel to abroad is somebody else's village. When GSM came to Nigeria, when internet came to Nigeria, villages expired. Many of you are in Lagos today. You should actually go back to your village and tabernacle there, because you can be in Ogbomoso and be a billionaire. You can be in Niseluku and be a billionaire. You can be in Akbo. Millions. Why? Because it's no more location sensitive. Technology eliminates villages. The world has become a global village. The internet is the village square. So from your room anywhere, you can do transfer and connect to the world. So you don't really need to be in Lagos anymore. Hello? So all this idea of is a bush, just they play. You wake up one day and discover that the bush has become a city. And you've been telling stories. Your children will now come and ask you, where were you when your mates were buying land? There are only three people we call Lord. Jesus is Lord. The judge is Lord. The landlord is Lord. Only three lords in this world. Why do we call them Lord? Because they have the power of life and death in their hand. Until you have accommodation problem, you don't understand how powerful a landlord is. When you have accommodation problem, you realize how important it is that it can affect your love language, affect everything about your life. Your brain will not even function well. You be in the office, you are thinking about to carry a seat out with your zero. Why? Just because you have not been able to maximize the power in real estate investment. Let me give you one more and I close. Every business on earth is a real estate business. Every business on earth is a real estate business. You say, oh, no. On this one, I disagree with you. No problem. Let me explain to you so that I can help you get clarity. Say, I'm a medical doctor. That hospital, is it not real estate? So I'm a lawyer. The courthouse, including the prison you are sending people to, is it not real estate? So I'm a teacher, I'm into education. Oh, the school is it not real estate? The hostel is it not real estate? The laboratory is it not real estate? So now I'm into transportation. Oh, the road you are passing and driving on, is it not real estate? The car park is it not real estate? The airport is it not real estate? The seaport is it not real estate? Is it not I'm into food and hospitality? The restaurant is it not real estate? The hotel is it not real estate? He said, no, I'm a politician. Oh, where is the parliament house? Is it not real estate? He said, no, I'm into IT. Where are your servers? Is it not real estate? So every business on earth is real estate business. So not to be in real estate is not to be in business. So today, opportunities have been introduced to you and more will be introduced. I asked him to give me what he has here so that I can see what they are offering you and help you why you need to take advantage. I can see here land for as low itself. And let me tell you something. One thing that is very certain about all this land here, all this that they are making to you today is number one, it will never be lower than this. That's one thing that is sure. It will never be lower than this. So it means that whatever quantity you're willing to pay to plug in. So let me tell you three things as regards to this, so that you will know why you need to plug in. Number one, it will never be lower than this price. It will never be lower than this price. Number two, if you do not have the money to plug into this opportunity right now, or you have an access to borrow money to plug into it, money. If there is anything an advise people to do, is to borrow money to acquire assets. The rich in Africa is Aliko Dangote. He's owing over $20 billion. He's a debtor, yet he's the richest. Why? Because there is good debt and there is bad debt. So imagine now that you borrow 25 million from somebody today and promise to pay them 20% of 25 million in 1 year. You buy a land today and 1 year later the land has doubled. You get between 60 to 100% increase on the land you are buying, and guess what? You are able to pay the money you are owing and also pay the interest. So number one, it will never be lower than the price you are getting it for today. Number two, investing in an asset, investing in real estate is something you can borrow money to do. And number three, if you cannot afford to buy it on your own, buy with others. Cannot afford to buy it on your own, buy others. So if a land or a house or a real estate project is 25 million and all you have is 5 million, look for 4 other friends to join you. 5 million times 5 of you is 25 million. You buy it together, do a partnership agreement, and you co-own it together. I've been speaking, I'm pushing code for well over a decade, and I can tell you testimonies upon testimonies upon testimonies of co-ownership opportunities that has changed the lives of people both locally and globally. Let me just give you one local, one global, just to help you understand what I'm talking about. A property was bought. So let me tell your neighbor. Say name 3 reasons why you should plug into the opportunity being offered. Number 1 is the cheapest you can ever get. Number 2, even if you can borrow to get it. Number 3, if you can't buy it alone, you can buy it with others. I was about to give you 2 testimonies, one local, one global. A few years ago, we got a property, 3-bedroom terrace duplex, Orchid Road, 35 million. 7 people came together and put 5 million together for that property. And they decided that they wanted to rent it out. They bought it at 35 million. 7 people owned the property. They rented it out for the first 2 years at 2.5, the second 2 years at 3.5. Right now, they are earning 5 million as rent on that property per annum. That same property they bought for 35 million is now 92 million. Now, 7 of them still own it. But guess what? The property has doubled over the 6-7 year period that they have owned the property. From 35 is now what it is. And guess what? 7 of them still own it and they are still earning rent. If one of them has said, I don't want to join anybody, I want to do it by myself, and I will gather the money by myself, maybe by now I will be gathering 35 million and he will not be able to do it. One of the things that has messed us up is the trust issue. I don't trust anybody, I don't trust anybody. Don't make statements like that. It is that statement that you have made, that everybody has made, that has created the atmosphere that we have. You don't trust anybody, yet you flee from Lagos to Abuja. Is your cousin the pilot? You don't trust anybody. You cannot live without trust. Trust is a factor of life. All you need to do is to make sure that you have a legal documentation that ties you down. Let me give you the international version. 7 people came together. 2019, 7 of them came together, bought a property for $70,000 cash in the US. Rent, as at then, was now 150. I was still in the property about 3 weeks ago. As I'm speaking to you right now, the property they bought for 70,000 is now 138. That property now gives them $1,250 every month because they pay rent every month. The 7 of them still own the property. Now the property is almost double between 2019 and now. And the rent is 1,250. Do you know what it means to get 1,250 every month right now in today's economy? But if one of them have said, I don't want to do it with anybody, I want to do it by myself, they may not have been able to gather $70,000 up until now because exchange rate will not wait. If you are here today, it's an opportunity that you can afford to miss. I like it when they say that some of their customers are here. People that bought from them are here. People that have patronized them before are here. You know what that means? Credibility. Many of the people we have in Nigeria today will always tell you they don't know who to trust. They don't know who to trust. By me being here, by virtue of what he said about customers that they have, that means you don't have any excuse about trust. I will not be in a place that is not trustworthy. I will not put my name behind anything that is not trustworthy. So I'm standing to tell you that if you have the money, or you can have access to the money through a loan, or you have the network that can raise the money, then you need to take advantage of this. Because not too long from now, if you don't take advantage of this, you will look back at today and you say, what the feel the but that will not be your portion. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that real estate is powerful and you need to plug in now. God bless you.
That was an incredible one. Now I expect us to be on our feet as we give a round of applause to Dr. Olumide Emmanuel for that incredible session. If you are clapping, please do it well. Thank you once again, sir.
Okay, because the offer is for today, I'm supposed to be leaving about. Anyone that is buying into the offer right now, I'm going to wait behind. I want to have lunch with you people. Let's have a buffet together so that you can ask me questions and we can still have some investment discussion. So anyone that plugs into this offer right now, I will give you a time for us to sit down and have further discussion. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir.